his office doing paperwork. The defendant is also working for him as an office administrator. He asks you what's new in your life, and you told him you have a new roommate.
Yes, and he goes, who? I said, well, it's a new old roommate, Jake, which would be Megan's boyfriend. And his face dropped. He got embarrassed, and I'm like, because prior to this, I was dropping one of my employees off, and I started seeing Doug and Megan together at odd ends of times. Doug's vehicle would be at Megan's house during the middle of the day when I'm going to get materials for my work, and I just started seeing random times that they were together.
That it looked suspicious to you.
Correct, and I never...
Got it.
I wanted to stay out of it. When Jake asked me to come move back in, I told him yes, because he was one of my best friends.
Now, had he previously lived with you?
Yes.
How long was it between the time he moved out and the time he moved back?
Probably a year and a half, almost.
And was he at that time involved with, to your knowledge, with the defendant?
Yes.
Was he living with her?
When he moved out.
When he moved out?
He went to go move with Megan.
Ms. Radke, is it correct that Jake moved in with you, lived with you for a while, year, and then for a short period of time moved back with Mr. Kallenberg?
Correct.
You had a fight, something, a disagreement. When was that?
Beginning of July.
Now it's becoming, now the confusion, this smoke is clearing away, and I'm starting to get it. Okay, so Jake comes back and lives with you, and now that I've got the players, so when Jake came back to live with you, I assume, Mr. Kallenberg, that at some point you shared with him these odd sightings of Doug's car at places and times where it shouldn't have been at the defendant's house.
Correct.
I assume you shared that with him.
Yes, and he had even told me, he goes...
No, don't tell me what he told you, that's hearsay. But I assume that you assume that their relationship was over and that you would share with him your suspicions of this behavior, okay? And then they got back together.
Eventually, I know, and the
well,
month...
that's what Miss Redke says, that they are now back together. Okay. So now tell me what happened in July.
So July 3rd, which was the day I was in Doug's office also, that night around 9:30, 10 o'clock that night, Jake was at my house, and he had said Megan is going to come over to get her house key.
What house key?
The house key that Jake had.
That belonged to her?
That belonged to her.
So?
I told Jake, she's not welcome here. Do not.
Why wasn't she welcome in
Because I did not want to be part of their drama, and I wanted my house, myself, my reputation out of their drama.
Okay, so you said to Jake, she's not welcome here.
Correct. Anyways, we were in my garage and I had some friends over. We had moved into my house and I said, we're gonna go inside because I don't want to see Megan. I don't want anything to do with her. I heard my door open as we were sitting at my kitchen table. My door opened and here comes Megan barging through my house. I was alone. That's what I thought. I was starting to get scared.
Okay.
She entered my house.
Just a second. Before I move any further, before Jake moved back with you, he was your friend. Before he moved back with you, had you told him about your suspicions with Doug and Megan? That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Redke, would it be a fair statement that one of the things that you argued about with your current boyfriend is what the plaintiff told your boyfriend?
Correct.
And it was at that point that your boyfriend moved out and moved in with him. Got it. Go ahead.
That evening...
So she came in.
She came
into the kitchen.
She started approaching me, and I'm like, no, just don't come near me.
Okay, so you knew at that point that he had told her that you told him about the suspicions and he moved out. So it's not a pleasant thing.
No.
Okay, go.
And she tried approaching me and started grabbing me and physically tried pulling me outside my house. And I told her every time, do not touch me. I'm calling the cops. Get out of my house. You're not welcome here. She kept trying to drag me out the door, so finally I went and talked to Doug and Megan, who, when I turned into my kitchen, I seen Doug standing in my entryway. I did not know he was there. I only thought Megan was in my house, but no. Both of them were present in my house without my knowledge. When I went to go talk to him, I told him multiple times, I'm calling the cops. You're not welcome here. leave my
Okay,
house.
I assume that they were both angry. That would be a fair reason why you were there, correct?
I was also angry. Shh.
Your Honor, I was never in his house.
Did you go over there on July 3rd?
I was in my vehicle.
Did you go over there on July 3rd?
Yes, I did.
Okay, keep talking to me.
That is a lie, Your Honor. He was definitely there.
Just a second. He's her boss. What is he doing over there on July 4th weekend anyway?
Correct. What is he doing in my
Just
house?
a second. He's in his vehicle. I got it. Okay. It's a result of that incident that caused you to file a restraining order?
She filed her harassment on
She
me
filed.
in the month of October. I had no contact.
Just a second. Not in July.
Not in July, not in August, not in September. In October, she filed paperwork.
In October, she filed an OP against you. Do you have a copy of that for me?
I do, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it, please. Okay, your application for a protective order, which was granted to you ex parte, which means he wasn't there, which means the court relied on what you said in your application to grant you a protective order, talks about vulgar and threatening texts. That's the only physical evidence that you have.
May I say something, Your Honor?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do you have any proof that the plaintiff is the source of those texts?
I was told by his coworker.
Just a second. You can't tell me what you were told by a coworker. That's hearsay.
Hey, JB. What's up, Ski? Something got you down, friend? I don't know, Ski. I feel like something big is around the corner, but it just never wants to get here. Hey, man, we've all been there. In fact, I'm going for the same thing. Really? Of course, John, last year, I was sitting right here with this exact same one, thinking about how I missed first and 10 Friday night football. You do understand.
There are heroes that fought to make this country what it is today. Let their voice be heard by nominating a veteran to be celebrated with Veterans Voices. Go to klfy.com to nominate today.
Storm Team 10 brings you the Sky 10 Weather Network. Get live conditions across Acadiana every day on KLFY News 10. Coverage provided by Musson Patu, Evangeline Downs, the UL Lafayette Science Museum, and Iberia Comprehensive Community Health Center.
After my wreck, I was hurt. I couldn't work. I take one step forward and 2 steps back. So I got Gordon.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. We've seen this game 1,000 times. We know how to take on the big insurance companies, and we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve for your medical bills, lost wages, and pain and suffering.
Gordon got it done and got me $440,000.
Just call me. Get it done.
Call 999-9999. Is your RV windshield or window cracked? Extreme Glass is the only company in Louisiana with a mobile replacement unit that comes to you for friendly, reliable service anywhere. Call us today, and you'll be back on the road in no time.
Let us keep you rolling.
There are heroes that fought to make this country what it is today. Let their voice be heard by nominating a veteran to be celebrated with Veterans Voices. Go to klfy.com to nominate today.
Closed captioning is provided by...
Why didn't we do this last year?
Before you were preventing migraine with Qulipta. Remember the pain. Cancel plans, the worry.
That was then. And look at me now. You'll never truly forget migraine, but Qulipta reduces attacks, making 0 migraine days possible. It's the only pill of its kind that blocks CGRP and is approved to prevent migraine of any frequency to help give you that forget you get migraine feeling. Don't take if allergic to Qulipta. Most common side effects are nausea, constipation, and sleepiness. Learn how AbbVie can help you save. Qulipta, the forget you get migraine medicine.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brian Kallenberg says former friend Megan Redkey falsely accused him of threatening her. Megan is countersuing for harassment.
She files a protective order months after this incident, and I assume at a time when Jake is back living with you.
Yes.
So now Jake left being your roommate. They made up. I would like to see what he sent you in the vulgar and threatening texts.
So there's some that are to me and then
No. I only want to see the vulgar and threatening text he sent to you. Are you the author of these texts?
No, Your Honor.
You're not?
No.
Okay. So the person who said to her in these texts, you know, there are some questions you should ask about Jake, follow your gut, and then some other little things, and then says to her, I have some pictures you might like. And clearly her response to these things are a person who was frightened of these things. Tell me who you are. You are saying that this person is not you.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
I also have document on that number that shows that it is clearly a scam number out of Houston, Texas. I live in Hutchinson, Minnesota.
Okay.
I also have...
Just a second. Ms. Redke, you received these texts which were clearly, I would define as problematic, understandably cause you for concern. I have to ask you, what proof do you have that those texts emanated from the plaintiff?
So the reason I believe that is because I was getting those texts last April is when they started, and they started with just belittling Jake and making me question my relationship with Jake. And then after that day, July 3rd, the very next day, Doug started receiving messages from that same number. And it's what we've seen is that it's an app. We looked up that it registered to Houston, Texas, but there's an app on Google that you can get, and you can be anonymous.
It's not what I'm asking you, not what could have been. Do you have any proof that the plaintiff is the source of those texts?
I was told by his coworker.
Just a second. You can't tell me what you were told by a coworker.
Okay.
That's hearsay. If you wanted a coworker, then you have the coworker here so that I can question him. Is what you're telling me that you do not have any proof that these came from the plaintiff, other than the possibility that there was an app that could be used, that he could get, that anybody could get?
Correct.
Okay, so that's not the basis for a protective order. That's a supposition. Because you don't say that he has sent vulgar and threatening. I have reason to believe it is possible. You know, that when a judge reads this, you're swearing to the truth of this. Do you understand?
Correct.
Now, it says, Brian has continued to message and stalk me. He has sent me vulgar and threatening emails. So we have no vulgar and threatening emails that you can directly relate to the plaintiff. The next thing that you state in your application for a protective order is that he stalked me. On what date do you allege that he stalked you?
Just from driving by, I've seen him several times going by, and it just, I guess...
Give me a date.
All of June. I mean, they're...
Nah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What did the caller say?
All it was like heavy breathing. It sounded like someone was in distress.
And there is a record of that.
Probably on my phone. I have to look. I mean, I don't have it printed out.
Okay.
With wet AMD, I worry I'm not only losing my sight, but my time to enjoy it. But now, I can open up my world with Vabysmo. Vabysmo is the first FDA-approved treatment for people with wet AMD that improves vision and delivers a chance for up to 4 months between treatments, so I can do more of what I love. Vabysmo works differently. It's the only treatment designed to block 2 causes of wet AMD.
Vabysmo is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection, active eye swelling, or are allergic to it. Treatments like Vabysmo can cause an eye infection or retinal detachment. Vabysmo may cause a temporary increase in eye pressure after receiving the injection. There is an uncommon risk of heart attack or stroke associated with blood clots. Severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye can occur. Most common eye side effects are cataract and broken blood vessels.
Open up your world with Vabysmo.
A chance for up to 4 months between treatments with Vabysmo. Ask your doctor.
The best things in life come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thumbs up. And now, buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, 2 months free. All the fast, reliable, nationwide coverage. Make the switch today.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in half. Scroll through dozens of prices and tap to switch online. That's it. No phone calls and no wasted time. Go to Insurify and save today.
There's something about being a sportsman in South Louisiana. It takes patience, concentration, dedication, and true gut instinct. It takes these same skills to be a good lawyer. For nearly 45 years, I've worked with people throughout Acadiana. I've represented clients through some of their toughest times, and I know there is no substitute for experience. At Brandon Sherman
was blown away with how clean and white my teeth are. My gums and teeth are so healthy, it's crazy. You can get Lumino toothpaste at Walmart and Target.
Attention Medicare customers with diabetes. Now you can stop the painful pricking of your fingers with a continuous glucose monitor. And they're covered by Medicare if you qualify. Call right now for free information.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brian Kallenberg claims former friend Megan Redkey falsely accused him of making threats.
Okay, you say I have called the Hutchinson Police Department several times due to the calls and texts. Texts you don't have, calls. What calls?
I received a call from Brian's phone number, and
on what date?
It was on October 12th.
What time?
7:45 in the morning.
From Brian's cell phone number?
Correct.
And what did the caller say?
All it was like heavy breathing. It sounded like someone was in distress.
So nobody said anything to you?
Correct.
Was that phone call made to your cell phone?
Correct.
And there is a record of that?
Probably on my phone. I haven't looked. I mean, I don't have it printed out.
Well, get it. October 12th, 2018, 7:45 a.m. You have a cell log of your phone?
I have a screenshot that clearly shows that Megan and Doug also called me on October 12th.
Did you speak to her?
No, I did not. I have her number blocked to my phone that it shows up as auto-blocked.
And what about Doug?
I did not speak to him. He left me a voicemail.
And why did you call him?
Because I had received that call and I was wondering why.
At 7:45 in the morning? Okay. Now, do you have, I'd like to see.
I just looked. It only goes back till February.
Well, your phone may go back until February, but you were coming here to court, so that it's very easy to get that. You understand that. Between the two of you, you could have gotten a phone log that would have shown a call that came in, an incoming call at 7:45 a.m. from his phone, right?
Correct.
Why didn't you? Did you ever call Doug back?
No, I did not. I texted him and I just told him I have absolutely no time for you. If you have anything to say to me, call the police department and they will contact me with anything you need.
I'd like to see that text.
There's proof on that, and I believe I have it on my phone also. Bottom one.
You see how we found this on the same date that you couldn't find the call that you formed as the basis of your protective order? Does Doug have family?
Yes.
What kind of family does he have?
Wife and 2 kids.
Okay, Ms. Ritke, so now I know that you filed for this protective order. And based upon what at least I've been able to glean today, if a judge asked you to prove the allegations that you filed in the protective order, you could not have done it.
The only proof that I sent in was those messages from that number, correct? Assuming that it was Brian.
Correct. And the stalking you have no proof of? Now I'm going to ask you, Ms. Redke, once you filed for a protective order, the plaintiff sought the advice of an attorney. You were given a return date. What was the return date?
November 8th.
So you had a return date relatively short, 4 weeks later, and you didn't show up. Boy.
Judge Judy continues. Closed captioning sponsored by
Pause for the facts. She's shopping for a used car, but she doesn't know that nearly half of them have been in an accident. Luckily, Carfax shows how accidents impact price, so she doesn't have to overpay. Unpause. Whoa,
This is cool.
Shop only Carfax.com.
You've got better things to do than clean out clogged gutters. Call Leaf Filter today. And never clean out clogged gutters again.
Leaf Filter's technology keeps debris out of your gutters for good. Guaranteed. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER today or visit leaffilter.com.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Teeth are amazing. That's why at Affordable Dentures and Implants, we have new financing options to help you get a new smile today, not someday. Scan the QR code or call to learn more.
Go ahead and smile. Good morning with Volcoax. Good morning. Yeah. Try Volcoax Chewy Fruit Bites for fast and gentle constipation relief in as little as 30 minutes. Making your good morning even better with Volcoax.
Are you having trouble hearing your TV? Or listening to conversations in loud spaces?
I think as my hearing loss has gotten worse, I'm not as engaging as I was before.
Then it might be time to consider nano hearing aids.
The days of expensive hearing aids are over. Recent changes in the law have allowed for over-the-counter hearing aids sold direct and shipped to your home, which means no more having to go to a doctor and spend thousands.
The fact that you're able to go direct, the pricing was phenomenal. It just was a win-win all the way around.
Don't mistake nanos for cheap amplifiers. Nanos are FDA-registered OTC hearing aids.
They are so small and so powerful. Just makes my life so much better.
Nano hearing aids are now offering $100 off through this special TV offer. Order right now and get 2 CIC rechargeable hearing aids for only $297. All Nanos come with a 45-day money-back guarantee. Try them, and if you're not happy, return them for a full refund.
Call 800-242-0067.
LUS wants you to know that it's easy to save on utilities. Just give it a little energy. Feel up to 4 degrees cooler with a fan, and then set your thermostat a few degrees higher. Air conditioning can account for half of your bill. Learn more at lus.org/bright-ideas.
Word on the job? Demand Dudley Devotion. Hospitals and medical facilities can be some of the most hazardous places to work. Bad falls, needle sticks, back injuries, and other accidents put our healthcare workers at serious risk. If you're a medical professional who's been hurt on the job, demand Dudley Devotion. We appreciate the sacrifices you make, and we're here to fight for you. Taking care of those who take care of us. That's the Dudley Devotion difference. Demand Dudley Devotion. 444-4444.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, our Snap Secure dental implants will help you eat and speak with confidence at a price that's affordable. So if you think you can't afford dental implants, think again.
Go ahead and smile.
Live from Studio 10, weekdays at 4:30 on KLFY.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I had fallen and broken my ankle 2 days prior, so I wasn't able to drive. I wrote a letter and sent it in to the courts explaining my absence in court that day.
I'd love to see what you sent to them. Do you have medical records from Hutchinson Health Clinic?
The only letter I have is...
No. Do you have any medical records from Hutchinson Health?
I don't have the medical records. I just have the letter from the doctor.
Let's get them. Are there medical records at Hutchinson Health?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Including x-rays?
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to recall the case. Also, sir, can you stand up? I would assume that in November of last year that the defendant was working for you.
That is correct.
Was she working the week of November 2nd?
As I recall, yes.
Was she working the week of November 7th?
Yes.
So despite the fact that she had a fractured ankle, she came to work?
That is correct.
And how does the defendant get to work?
She lives 2 blocks away.
So she walked?
I don't know that.
Well, either she walked or she drove or she took an Uber or she took a cab or she had a friend drive.
Yes.
The same way she could have had someone drive her to the courthouse to pursue the order of protection.
She was at work.
She was at work. Get me the medical records. Thank you.
I'd like to see if this case would be recalled.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.